Hello and welcome to the Third Sector. I'm your host, Tamara Brinkman. In our society, there are three sectors: the public, the private, and the nonprofit. And it's that third sector that we're here to talk about today. Joining me, we have Senior Pastor Jesse Arthur from Oak Park Pentecostal Church. Jesse, welcome to the Third Sector.
Thanks for having me, Tamara.
Well, I'm very excited to have you here. Oak Park has a lot of fantastic things going on, wonderful supports into our community, and I just can't wait to just get started. Jesse's with us the whole episode to talk about all of what they've got going on, so we're really excited. We'll dive right into it. Let's just start with the history of Oak Park.
Yeah, absolutely. So Oak Park has been in the Wayne County community since the 40s. So we have a really long, rich history serving both our church congregation and the community. And we just celebrated, it seems like we're in nonstop celebrations the last couple of years, but we celebrated some major landmarks. And actually this week, we're celebrating an installation of my wife and I as senior pastors. We've been serving in the role for about a year now. We've been on staff with Oak Park for 7 years, but it's a really cool landmark for us, and we have a really rich history of prior leadership. It's just exciting to be a part of that legacy and that lineage.
That's wonderful. So talk a little bit about what you do outwardly for the community, your community outreach, the programs you have. What started you guys, and where are you with that work today?
Absolutely. So the part of our strategic plan is really focusing on the community. We want to be a very outward-facing institution, a very outward-facing organization. And the church is designed first and foremost to serve the spiritual needs of our community. But we have what I feel is a very well-rounded approach to serving the community. We look at it very holistically. We want to serve folks spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. We want to serve a primary role and be a facet in every part and component of their lives. And one of the first ways we started that, really that outward-facing approach, was through our child care facility, Oak Park Early Learning Academy. And like many organizations over the last few years, we've had some ups and downs. Coming out of COVID was a challenge. And we've seen quite a few really interesting changes in that sector. But that was really where we first started evolving as an organization and looking, okay, how can we serve this community in a more diverse capacity than we have in the past? So bringing in that service element and provisioning parents with really much needed high quality child care facilities. And we're blessed here in Richmond and Wayne County to have some really awesome facilities. Just the great problem that we have is that we've got more kiddos than facilities. And which is exciting. That means our community is growing. So stepping in and serving that need was something that we've been really passionate about. I have to give a shout out and give honor and credit where credit is due. Danny Arthur, my mom, she's done a tremendous job really spearheading that program and turning it into the high quality program that we have today. We've got about 90 kiddos on roster right now, a little over 30 employees. So really, it's just an exciting service to bring to the community. And out of that, we started developing relationships with so many different organizations and institutions. I know United Way, and then many of those other very community-centric, outward-facing institutions that we've been able to partner with and collaborate with over the last few years have kind of drawn us into a really diverse array of service areas. One of those big ones, something that we kind of championed the last couple years alongside some host of really just incredible people in the community that have a heart for this need, but serving as a warming shelter. And that program was spearheaded by Carl Reinhardt, and we had collaboration from so many different entities and volunteerism, support. And that was something that was near and dear to our hearts. And it's a need that I think is not going to go away in the near future, unfortunately. But we're doing our very best to create those collaborative environments where we can serve that particular element, that particular demographic within the framework of our community more successfully, and speak to some of those bigger issues like. First and foremost, the homelessness, but also some of the systemic housing issues, and the mental care component, everything that kind of goes into that, speaking to those challenges and helping rehabilitate individuals and get them into a routine and a pace where they're contributors. And that's something that we're excited about, we're passionate about. And out of that program, I mean, there's just been so many different avenues. We've had to kind of rein ourselves back in a little bit, which has been a challenge because we have a lot on our staff. We're just blessed with some really, really cool, awesome people that have very creative minds, and we're always dreaming up new ways that we can impact the community. So some of those avenues, some of those different vehicles that we have tackled are like in the form of our Recplex, our community center that we launched earlier this year, and that is designed and intended to be a medium and a facility where families, students, young adults can come out and have a good time. We cycle between a lot of different activities, like predominantly sports. So we do indoor soccer, we do basketball, we do pickleball, volleyball, and kind of just cycling through those and provisioning a medium and a safe space for students, young adults, families to come in. And it's been really exciting to collaborate with a lot of different organizations here in the community to facilitate that, working specifically with with organizations that speak to some of the minority demographics here in our community, partnering with them to facilitate events. We're really excited. We're about to be launching indoor tennis, and I know some of the really exciting. So I know that some of that is more. Some of those programs are a little more usable or user-friendly in the winter. We're kind of coming out of those winter months, and we're really encouraging folks to enjoy the great outdoors and be outside. And I know we were talking a little off screen, but I know the pollen count is high, but still getting folks out, getting folks out and letting the kids run. And that's actually where we kind of came in, and we wanted to dovetail our Recplex program with our outdoor fitness park, and that is a multi-age space. So what we envisioned and now what we've crafted out, and we're still in the process of expanding though, was a multi-generational green space where families can come, children can come, senior citizens can come, and the idea is having body weight fitness equipment that surrounds a playground area. And then we've got benches and gazebos, and we're expanding a nature trail, and we're going to be putting in more body weight fitness equipment. But the concept is that adults and senior citizens can come get a body weight workout on this equipment while watching their kiddos or their grandbabies. And so we dovetailed that with our Recplex program, just because we recognize that folks want to be indoors in the winter, and we want to be outside in the summer. So that was, we've attempted to kind of graft those two programs together and provision the community with some spaces that are high quality and offer something for every age group. And we're really, really excited about that. We haven't officially launched yet just because we're waiting for a few last pieces to come in. But I would encourage the community there. Everyone is welcome on campus, both to Recplex and to the Richmond Fit Park. And we're really, really, really proud of that particular piece. And I'm going to be even more excited when we completely finalize it and finish it.
Well, very exciting. So tell everybody where you guys are located. So if anyone is interested in coming to the Recplex or to the outdoor park area, doing some body weight fitness, that's some great stuff. Where can they come to?
Absolutely. So we're located on 1920 Chester Boulevard, and we're really close to Reed Hospital to IU East. So great location in terms of where a lot of our community is going to be employed. And we're very central, and you'll see our signage right out on Chester, Oak Park Pentecostals. We'd love to have you on campus. You can park towards the back if you're going to Recplex or to the Fit Park. And we have a couple other projects queued up. We're wanting to install some outdoor restrooms and a couple other components to make it more user friendly.
Right.
Also, this might be a little premature, but hush hush under wraps.
Oh, share it with us. Breaking news on the third sector. Let's go.
We are really eyeballing putting out some water features. So maybe doing like a splash pad. So really, really exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would be nice.
That's at the behest of my kids. They've been begging.
Oh, I bet they have. Well, the community can thank Jesse's kids. Thank you very much. Well, it would be really great because while that is a wonderful feature in Elstro Plaza, you guys are in another part of the community, not too far away, but it does open it up to another area within the community to be able to get to a splash pad area without having to go, quite as far as into downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never viewed it as, and I hope it comes across that way, never viewed it as competitive in any way, shape, or form. Every time I see our Parks Department out, I'm so thankful. We have some incredible green spaces here in Richmond.
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
in an effort to work just more collaboratively and provision families and the community as a whole with just more options. Yeah. We're just excited to do that and partner with the community.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's great. And yes, the parks, Denise was on with us an episode or two ago, and she took us through all of the new exciting plans, the expansion in the gorge, and a lot of the exciting things that are headed this way from the Parks Department. And so we are so thankful for how nicely they keep our trails and all of the things they're looking forward to help, bring more fun activities, make Wayne County a destination area and so forth. So that's great. But we'll go back to Oak Park. So we've talked a lot about some of the different ways that you reach out. You are a church, but within your church, I guess, what is your mission, or if you will, sort of pillars or areas of focus that you're like, these are our guiding principles or our North Stars that are what sort of, where all the community outreach bears from, aside from, your kids' input for the splash pad.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of those big verticals, those big pillars are going to be very youth-centric, youth-focused. Part of our strategic plan is really pouring into that next generation. We believe that, and I believe that this sentiment is shared by the community as a whole, that individuals 18 and under, they're the future of Richmond and Wayne County. And so pouring into these individuals, these young people, these students and children is a huge component of what we do, serving a wide array of needs that are present in that community. And that comes out in the form of our Empowered Youth program and our King's Kids program. We focus on being very involved in the public educational sector, and as much as we possibly can, partnering with with our Richmond community schools that has been such an exciting collaboration. And I just want to give a huge shout out and honor to all the incredible educators that we have in this community. Richmond is really, really blessed. And we've a couple of our recent projects we've done have been with Star, and those have been really exciting. Just getting out at Star Elementary, collaborating with them, and seeing the influx of families just pouring in. And we've done stuff like we had an event over this past Good Friday. It's just been a couple months ago now, and we had inflatables and live music and free food. And giveaways. We gave away like a PlayStation, a couple other really cool things. But it's just exciting to mingle with the community, and that is impacting those families and starting that impact through the kiddos, through the students, through the elementary schoolers. That's part of our vision, because if we can make an impact on kiddos that are facing some very systemic challenges in our community and address those head on from as early of a phase as we possibly can, and get the fingerprints of our various programs on their life and in a very positive way, and help reinforce their gifts, their talents, their abilities, their creative potential. That's what we were so incredibly passionate about, and for a multiplicity of reasons. But I think the biggest one is just we absolutely love the city of Richmond and Wayne County, and we want to see this community prosper. And I believe that absolutely starts with impacting the lives of children and students, young adults.
Let's talk a little bit about what are your goals for the next year? Absolutely, and that's a huge question. You're asking me how a watch works. No, I'm just kidding. No, year-ish. I mean, you can, it doesn't have to be exactly, and you don't have to, tell us you gave us a good breaking story, so it doesn't have to be that. But
no, I think some of the biggest, one of the biggest areas that we're really wanting to focus on, and this absolutely dovetails with our warming shelter program, with our bread box food pantry, serving and helping decrease and collaborate with other organizations in the community to decrease the weight and strain of some very systemic challenges in our community. But I think a huge part of that is addressing the mental health component that is either a cause, a contributing factor, or it's a residual effect of some of those challenges. So addressing the mental health component to the very best of our ability is something that we are looking to tackle in earnest this coming year, and that's rolling out in the form of Serenity, our behavioral therapeutic program. And we are working right now to obtain Medicaid, Medicare approval for that program. Really, really exciting to be able to serve, honestly, the as best as we can through holistic medical and clinical approaches, the mental health needs of our community. And then also working in tandem with several other organizations and boards here locally to facilitate our Hope Link program, which is may also be labeled as the Link. We're still kind of in the labeling process of that. So don't quote me on anything yet.
Right. Okay.
But serving as navigators, and what I mean by that is serving in a capacity that helps. We're going to help plug individuals in to the wide array. There's just so many incredible organizations and institutions that are already doing business, already serving the community here in Richmond. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We just want to help plug individuals that are facing very systemic challenges into and connecting them with those existing programs. So serving as navigators, facilitators for change. Those are two programs that we're hoping to roll out in tandem with some of our other programs. I know there's a lot of practical application for that, specifically regarding the warming shelter, just because there's so many individuals that are staying with us that are facing some really tough challenges when it comes to addressing their mental health and their behavioral, the behavioral component of that. So and then also just trying to really exact change in a way that's helpful, purposeful, meaningful. We felt like one of the best ways to tackle that was through addressing the mental health concerns of our community. And I believe that flows, and that's really for us anyways, it seems like a very seamless task, just because that's really already a huge facet, and it really kind of boiling down to the ethos of who we are as an organization. I know we label it as spiritual, but a lot of that is emotional, is mental. We're emotional, we're mental beings, and addressing those needs is absolutely critical. in order to serve our community in the way that I feel like we as an organization, we as a church, as a constituency, as a body are called to serve. And I feel like that's very biblical and it's very Christ-centric. But yeah, that's some of the things that we're hoping to tackle in this rolling year. We'll see if we can get it all knocked out by end of 2025.
Well, there's a lot there. I want to take a second and just give a little explanation for folks that watching the show. If you aren't aware of the warming shelter or haven't heard of it or don't know what it is, it is a place when in the wintertime the temperatures get below 28 degrees. 25 degrees. Okay. You should make it 28. 25 degrees. Oak Park opens up their doors for overnight shelter for our homeless folks. And they also will help assist them to get there by going and picking them up or, working with law enforcement that, if they, need to give somebody a ride so they have a safe place to be when the temperatures are too cold. That is the warming shelter. And at this point, they are the only shelter or only entity in the community that does this work county-wide, right? So that is just obviously childcare is pretty direct. A bread box food pantry, say that fast of 3 times.
Yeah.
That'll be your tongue twister. But let's talk about, let's just take like childcare or the bread box. If those programs went away, what would be the impact to the community?
Wow, yeah, that's a great question. And interestingly enough, that same question on the inverse was what drove us to do a lot of these programs.
Because there isn't childcare in there.
Right. So we were, the big question that drove us to establish these programs was, if Oak Park closed its doors tomorrow and we didn't have any of these programs, who would we be impacting besides the folks that are frequent members? And the tough answer and the tough response that we came back with was, well, other than our constituency, nobody would really be impacted. And so we thought, wow, we can't just sit idly by. I think it's really difficult to gauge how big of an impact that would have. But speaking just to kind of the service numbers, I know that, right now our student population with the daycare is at 90 kiddos, and that we have kiddos that are cycling to elementary school, kids that are relocating. So I think our numbers for last year, 2023, there were somewhere in like the 170 or 180 students range. So it's 180 kiddos. Some of those are coming from, some of those our kids are siblings.
Right.
Some of those students are siblings. So I think the total household count came back at like 120 something. So at least 120 households in our community that would be impacted. And when speaking to the need as it pertains to our food pantry, we served, I want to say it was over 10,000 meals or 10,000 bags last year.
Wow.
And so I believe the household count came back the individuals served came back at 7,000. And I think that was about 3,000 or 4,000 households without having the data in front of me.
Right.
But several thousand households that were impacted here in Wayne County. We're also one of the few, and I understand there's a lot of organizations that operate differently, and I'm very appreciative. At Oak Park, we have a no documentation policy, so anybody from anywhere can come get. So it's hard to really heat map if all those are just residents of Wayne County.
Right.
But so that and then combined with our impact in Recplex, our impact in the warming shelter, the food pantry, the daycare, the church itself, our empowered youth. I believe last year we had about 160 kids on roster with empowered youth. Wow. So that's middle school and high school students. The impact, the total footprint is really difficult to gauge, but I would say with confidence, us closing up shop on all of our programs would impact thousands of people here in the community.
Yeah, I would agree. Thank you for breaking it down like that for us. So we have a few minutes left. I do want to touch on if people are if they want to get involved with Oak Park in any way, shape, or form, that could be they want to become a member, that could be they just want to know about the Rexplex, they want to know about childcare or any of the other programs they have, or they want to find a way to volunteer, participate in the community work that you are doing. What is the best way for them to do that? Or maybe before I even say that, is there a place for them to do that? And then if there is, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Absolutely. We love, and I just want to give a quick side note here, that really, in all honesty, programs like specifically, and I know we've referenced this several times, but programs like the warming shelter would not have been possible without external volunteerism, and just so many incredible organizations coming together. So to answer that succinctly, yes, we are always looking for volunteers. We are always accepting new membership. So Oak Park we are a very community-centric church, and we welcome everyone from every background, cultural background, economic background, educational background. We are highly inclusive as an organization, and we encourage everyone to come out and visit.
Right.
If you're looking to volunteer, one of the easiest ways to do that is either on social media or online.
Okay.
And you can submit a form on our website. You can submit a contact form. And if you are looking to volunteer with the Breadbox Food Pantry or with Recplex or with the warming shelter, one of the best ways to do that is online. You can follow those different ministries and those different programs on their various Facebook pages.
Okay.
And
for our non-digital users, can they call the church?
They can absolutely call the church. Yeah.
We still have some of those.
Yeah.
We have about a minute left. What brings you the most joy about what you do?
Wow, just the impact that we get to see on a daily basis, having folks either come through our Breadbox line or programs that we're doing in community and in public schools, literally just getting to see people's eyes light up, and you can tell that Oak Park and our volunteers have had a real impact, and I don't want to sound cliche, but really a life-changing impact on every age group, every age bracket. It's just been exciting. We have programs in retirement facilities, and we have programs in elementary schools, and to see that full array being addressed, it's just so rewarding and really, really exciting, not just for me, but for our entire team.
Right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That'll do it for us on this episode. That's the end of our episode. We are out of time today on the Third Sector. I want to thank Senior Pastor Jesse Arthur for taking time to join us today. As we wrap up, you all stay well, and we'll see you next time on the Third Sector.